Hey everybody, this is Vapor-Tokers, just coming at you with a video introduction and a little bit of tips and guideline I guess, for the Hydra, the new Hydra that a lot of you have been picking up, just to help you use it better, get it to perform better for you and last longer for you. It is basic, I guess, information about it. You can consider it a cartomizer or a clearomizer or a tankomizer. It's a kind of common thing now. A lot of them are out there on the market now. Basically, it's a it's an atomizer contains all the e-juice in it, kind of all in one, no filter required, just a tip. There's some other a lot of types out there. Here's one. Here's another one. But this one we're very pleased with. We did something a little bit unique with it to help out in the common problems with a couple of other types. Typically, your cartomizer or your tankomizer type atomizers are similar to like these, where it kind of holds all the juice in there, and then there's a feeder hole at the very bottom where the gravity feeds into the atomizer, and then that's just basically how it works. The atomizers in these types are really cheap. They can last anywhere from a couple days to a couple weeks maybe, and then you change them out, kind of thing. But a lot of the reason why they go out is the basic design of it. The feeder being that the feeder for the atomizer is at the bottom. Now, if you guys know how to use our older atomizers and kind of understand the maintaining of the liquid, of the wetness of it, of like how to burn off the excess fluid out of the atomizer, or how to kind of tell when it needs juice and when it doesn't need juice, and you can work that kind of issue, and you know how that works, basically where you have to take the mouthpiece out and vape the atomizer, that kind of thing. You can't do that with these types because the feeder's at the bottom and it's going to always be covered with juice. So typically what tends to happen with those types is the atomizer will flood eventually, and then you either got to basically open it, take it apart and blow it out and kind of waste your juice, or a lot of times people just keep vaping on it, and thinking that it'll fix it or it'll make it work again, and really they just burn the atomizer up because there's too much juice in there. It's not going to burn, it just overheats. So this design, the feeder valves are actually on the top, and there's more than one. A lot of them, like majority of them, have like one feeder hole like this one, and then sometimes people will punch extra ones. They'll drill little holes and make multiple feeder holes. This is at the top, so it gives you more control of it, and it also has little wicks that come out to help absorb some of the liquid for you. So the way this one works is it feeds through the feeder holes through the top, so you can actually manipulate it in a sense of where you allow the juice to hit the wicks to add juice, and then you just leave the juice away from it if you don't want to add juice. That way, if it ever kind of starts to get, you get that, maybe it's kind of filling up, and you get that sensation where, say it's not as hitting as strong as it used to, then that's the common sign that it's getting flooded. So typically what you would do in the past is pull the mouthpiece out and vape on it and then put it back. Well, with this one, you can just stand it vertically, then the feeding ports and the wicks are exposed, they're not in the liquid. Then you can vape on it. You can vape on it and burn the excess juice off. And then eventually, if you keep doing that, then you kind of, then you can go to the spectrum of where it starts to dry up a little bit, and then you can get, that slight burning taste or whatever. Then you can kind of just tilt it, let the juice hit the wicks. There's one on each side, so you can kind of roll it, or just smoke it basically at a 45 or a horizontal, depending on how much fluid is in there. As the fluid kind of goes down in the tank, then you'll have to kind of hold it even more to a horizontal position to just to get the juice to go in there. So that's the basics. The resistance is set up to match the battery, so you don't need any kind of high voltage battery or whatever. It's still a dual coil, so it produces plenty enough vapor. Like I said again, it holds up to about 2 mils of juice. I mean, there are some other tanks that hold 3 mil and 6 mil and all that kind of stuff, but you lose a lot of the juice in the process of refilling it or burning the atomizer out or flooding it and all that kind of stuff. Where this one, it's pretty easy. You can refill it in less than a minute. I'm going to do it a little bit slower, obviously, to show you how to do it. You don't need to take it off the battery. It's just a two-piece thing. So alright, basically this is what you do. you just unscrew the mouthpiece, still on the battery. It's a mouthpiece stopper. Pop it out real quick. Now if you look inside there, there's a little tube that actually goes through the mouthpiece, and that's where the vapor comes from, goes into the mouthpiece, into your mouth. The white stopper in there keeps the juice from rising up, and you can fill it along the sides just like most cartomizers or claromizers or whatever, or tankimizers you do. So basically you take that cap off. We just use a standard drip tip. Hold it about 45-degree angle. Take your bottle, you don't need any kind of syringe or anything special. Just angle it down so that it drips into the side. Let's see if you can see that there. Alright, so I'll start squeezing some juice in there. There you go, you see it going down. And then you can see the level rising. Now you don't want to get any juice into the needle because that feeds directly to your mouth and also to the battery and into the vapor chamber inside the middle of the atomizer. So you can just kind of fill it through the side. I just stop there, but you can kind of fill it up to the stopper, this little white stopper right here. And then right where at the bottom of the stopper is where the feeder holes are, and then the wicks. So if you can see the wicks in there, maybe there's one there, and then there's one on this side. So it's kind of like right at the level. Then you just put this thing back on. Now, just so that you notice, like the mouthpiece stopper will go against the white stopper, and then it seals it like that. And then that's what and then you kind of screw it down a little bit. So that's the seal that keeps the juice in there and keeps it from going up into the needle and into the mouthpiece. So it is, it's only sealed by a little bit of pressure. So if you ever get kind of juice up all in here like that and you drag hard enough, you could possibly have enough pressure to bring some of the juice in through that crevice in there, and then possibly get some up into the needle into. So you don't want to drag hard. You can look at the video that I made about drag pressure. You don't need to drag hard. If you get juice into your mouth, most of the time you're dragging too hard. It's just real light drags, right? So the wicks are in the liquid, so it's getting juice. Just use it like normal, whatever. And then once the level starts to go down a little bit, get down halfway, then the wicks will be exposed, and then you can kind of manipulate the wetness that way, just like how you used to manipulate it with the older atomizers, by just letting the liquid touch the wicks and not touch the wicks. But as you can see, it was really easy to fill. Nothing on my hands, didn't have to wipe anything. Mouthpiece is back on, less than a minute. Real easy, 2 mil. Not wasting any of my juice. As soon as it gets down about these steps down here, kind of like down here, I don't really try to vape all of it out. I'll just refill it because you'll still get it. You're not going to lose anything out of it, but that way it prevents you tilting it past horizontal, which you could get some juice over here on this end, and then if you drag hard enough, you can actually suck some juice out. So it just to prevent that and all that kind of stuff. As soon as it gets down here, I just refill it. No big deal. So this is the Hydra. We got a couple colors: red, black, green, blue. We'll get a few more, but it's pretty durable, really easy to use. May not be as big as some of the other tanks, but it's a little sleeker, it looks nicer, less messy, and good flavor. That's another thing. Like a lot of these other ones, like these types, a lot of the people would complain that they lose a lot of the flavor of their juices. Just more of a burning flavor or plastic flavor. So, to each his own. You can try them out. But those are just the common things that we hear from people. And but this one, good vapor, good flavor. It doesn't take anything away from that. Easy to fill, easy to use. But that's the Hydra. That's how you fill it. And then like I talked about the wicks and stuff, that's how you can manipulate your juice. It actually goes in the burning section of the atomizer to keep it from flooding or being dry. So that's the Hydra. Get any questions? Give us an email. Give us a call. Thank you.